So I first started studying tarot when I was pregnant with my first child, and she's going to be 18 this year. Basically, I was living off grid. I had been doing a lot of work with shamanics and with martial training, and I found myself pregnant, and I didn't feel that I wanted to do any shamanic work, and I certainly didn't want to be messing around with swords anymore. And we were off grid, we were very isolated, so I didn't know what to do. And in my stuff, I found that I had a deck of the Rider Waite Tarot, and I had still the best book in tarot, quite frankly, 78 Degrees of Wisdom. And so I started studying tarot, and I really started because back then, I mean, there was the internet, but we didn't have contact to the internet. So I really was just down to pen, paper, cards, and a book. And I think it really influenced how I read and study tarot because I pay attention to the details. I wanted to talk you through some of the different symbols that connect the cards. Because one of the ways that I read cards is I look at the cards in front of me. I usually do a 9 card spread, though I do other spreads as well. And what I'm looking for is the narrative between the cards. I don't read reversals, I have all the cards the right way up because I like to see how the cards are speaking to each other. So when you look at the cards, look for the symbols that are shared between different cards. This could be a color, this could be a flower, a particular way the picture is organized. It's those little details that allow you to create the chain of narrative between the cards that I think leads to my in-depth accuracy. So these are just a few ideas. The best way about reading like this is that you don't have to memorize the details because each time you read, you look. That's the beauty of it. So one of the things I love about temperance is we've got the angel with 1 foot on the earth and 1 foot in the water. To me, that is the balance between your inner journey, that's the foot in the water, and your outer journey, actually getting job done. That's the foot on the earth. And we see exactly the same story here in the star, where she's pouring half of her water into the pool, your inner journey, and half of her water onto the earth, getting the job done, being practical. One of the things that always fascinated me with the Six of Swords is that pole. I mean, we've got lots of wands in this deck. We've got the hermit's staff, and we've got the whole suit of wands. But that pole looks big, it looks out of proportion, and it's black. And if we look to see where else that pole is, it is in particular in 2 other cards. We have it in the Fool. Now, I very much associate the Fool with an unincarnated spirit because we have the white rose here and the sun is white itself. This is our soul or our spirit, either pre or after birth. It is an unincarnated soul, which is one of the reasons why I very often connect the Six of Wands and this person here in particular to a spirit guide because he has the same pole as in the Fool's card. And we have the same black staff, the same black pole in the Ten of Wands. It's a complicated card, the Ten of Wands. There it is, right there. I always find that the weirdest thing with the Ten of Pentacles is the perspective. The perspective always looks a little bit out to me. And so when I look at this card, I can't work out, is this Ten of Wands held by the old man? Or is it actually held by this person here? I would say it could be either. What's the meaning of it? To me, this is spiritual wisdom. The Ten of Pentacles, yes, it's money, but it's also community, ancestors, family. And so to me, this here is spiritual wisdom. And maybe what this card actually represents is the old man giving his spiritual wisdom to the younger individual. I presume it's a man, as this person here seems to be so feminine. So, yes, we have that link there to spirit, spirit guides, and ancestors. When I look at the Ten of Pentacles, and I know, particularly on Facebook, I sometimes get into, not into trouble, but people say quite negative about this card. I am. Because whenever I see this card, the one image that totally captivates my mind is this image here. which is a tower with seemingly a man and a woman either side, with the blue and the red. And of course, that's the exact same imagery that we have in the tower. We have the tower with those windows right at the top, and we have, seemingly a man and a woman with the blue and the red falling for the tower. So I always think with the Ten of Pentacles, it's a bit too much. It's just waiting for the calamity so that it can all collapse. Another symbol that captures my mind or my eye quite a lot is this checkerboard pattern here on the Three of Wands. Now, I love the Three of Wands. To me, this is just one of those cards that always makes me smile. This is success. This is luck through hard work. This is your ship is coming in. This is golden, yes, but these are ships down here. If you look carefully, they are boats. He's looking out over the estuary. But this is very clear here. He's wearing like a checkerboard design. Where do we find that? We find it in the Hierophant. We find it running either side of the Hierophant. What does it mean? To me, it makes me think of sort of mosaic patterns, but also chessboard, playing the game, playing the long game, thinking ahead, planning your moves, consciously interplaying between light and dark, yin and yang, action and rest, intuition and thought, whatever polarity you're working on. And we can also find that checkerboard. I'm going to have to remove them all to come right the way back. In the Ten of Pentacles, there's the checkerboard there running along and all the way down. Now, I don't think it's possible to memorize all of this. I'm a professional reader. I most of my money from teaching or reading tarot. I do the shamanics professionally as well. I only read professionally with two decks, with the Rider-Waite and the Druid Craft, and I almost exclusively read with the Rider-Waite. So a lot of hours is spent each and every week looking at these cards. And I'm still finding new details, new nuances, new links, new symbolisms that just make me go, wow, I hadn't seen that. And so whenever you're reading tarot, I just urge you, the first thing you do is you stop and you look at the cards. If you're really experienced, it can be easy to make assumptions. And if you're a newbie, it can be really easy just to reach for the book or to reach for the computer and start Googling. It is much better before you do anything else to stop and look at the cards. One of the details that I really love is the link between the Five of Cups, that card of sadness and grief, and the Four of Wands, because it's the same bridge. We have it down. So this is the card to me. The Four of Wands is joy, celebration, can be a party coming together. But there is the Five of Cups bridge right there. To me, it is a reminder that this is a place we hopefully all get to points in our life, even if it's finishing work and having a glass of wine, where we go, whoa, celebrating now. But it's a window. You need to leave the celebration. You need to carry on. Life is a balance of joy and sadness, and the two are linked. And with the Five of Cups here, we are told in time to leave behind our sorrows, to pick up with what's left for us, and to carry on our journey, crossing this bridge to move towards another time of joy and celebration. Very similar energies. One leads to the other leads back to one. I love that connection. Another connection that I had not noticed before until it was pointed out to me when I was teaching, and that's why I teach. Why do I continue to teach tarot? 8 years since I started, because I am still learning. That's why I teach, because people ask me questions, whether they're complete beginners or seasoned professionals. When I teach but on Zoom, people ask me questions that make me go, hadn't thought of that, hadn't seen that. And that is why I teach. And I've always noticed that we have the sixth pentacle here. In fact, it was pointed out to me on a Facebook group once when I was getting the Five of Pentacles a lot of the time, and I was really worried about it. And I shared it in a Facebook group, and I said, "Oh, really anxious. What does it mean?" And somebody took the time to answer and said, "But look carefully. The Six of Pentacles is shown. This is the despair before a new idea is birthed." And I've always carried that with me. Whenever I see the Five of Pentacles, I always think, "Yep, there's the six, just peeking through." And then I was teaching recently, teaching the Suit of Wands, and somebody pointed out, when we look at this carefully, this person's hand can't be seen from the way that he seems to be holding this wand here. It would seem natural to imagine that he has another wand here that he is bringing in. Does he? I don't know. I do know that I think Pamela Coleman Smith is incredibly diligent, or was incredibly diligent with how she framed her cards. I don't think there is anything in these cards that is done by accident. I think if you can't see something in a card, you can't see it for a reason. And so to me, that would ring true with this card, that there is something there that we are meant to sort of notice. I think it is the sixth wand coming in. And in particular, I love this about the knights. When I look at the knights here, I love how with the Knight of Swords, we can't quite see that last hoof. We can't see the end of the sword. This knight doesn't know where his consequences will lead him, where his actions will lead him. He's just going for it. He's just going for it. Whereas with the Knight of Wands, similar idea here. If I just scoot that up a bit, we can't quite see the end here of the horse's legs. We can't quite see where the horse is going. But neither can we see the end of the wand. Wands need to be grounded to grow, and we can't see it. Will this knights, and I always think the knights, they're on a mission. They're planning to do something. They're proving themselves. I always think with the Knight of Wands, he's jumping into something. Will it work or will it not? I would say it's 50-50, because we can't even see the base of this wand, and the wands need to be grounded. So I would say whenever you do a tarot reading, particularly with this amazing deck, but I think with most decks it's exactly the same. The first thing you do is you look at your cards, scan across them, and see what catches your eye, and then find where the cards are similar and follow that narrative through.